everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Yoga with Joy. Please take a moment to subscribe and share my channel with your family and friends. It is Memorial Day today, so I realize many of you are probably barbecuing and spending time with family and friends. Enjoy the day, but I do encourage you to take a moment just to pause and be still and remember and honor our servicemen and women who gave their lives for us, fighting for our freedom. That is what Memorial Day is ultimately about. So I'm going to do a gentle practice for you this afternoon, and I'll keep it brief. But before I get started, I do want to remind you that you should consult a physician before beginning any yoga practices as well as any exercise regimens. And if you have any health conditions or injuries, please be cautious when going into certain yoga poses or asana. So again, thank you for tuning in. I'm really happy that you're here. Please feel free to comment, subscribe, like, all that good stuff that we do in this great big world of social media. So we're going to begin our practice today in child's pose. So go ahead and put those big toes together, and we're just going to lean back, and you can stretch your arms forward in front of you, or if you prefer, you can fold them and rest your forehead there on your forearms. If you need some additional support, please go ahead and put a blanket underneath your bum. Your big toes should be touching and your bum should be either on your feet, or if you can go deeper into the pose, then you can go in between. Yoga is not about perfecting the pose. It's not about stretching beyond your limit into the pose. We don't want injuries, and the goal is not to have any pain while doing yoga as well. You can also reach those arms down by your sides for a bit of a shoulder stretch as well here. I prefer either to keep them in front of me or folded with my forehead on my hands, wrists there, just centered. This is such a great calming pose. There are some evenings I just roll out my mat with the intention to do multiple poses and end up staying in child's pose for the majority of the practice. So it's up to you how long you want to stay in the poses, for how many breaths. We're going to keep this one simple today. So we're going to go into tabletop. Your hands and your knee on your hands and knees. Your wrists should be aligned with your shoulders, your knees aligned with your hips, and your legs should be hip width apart. This is tabletop. And from there, we're going to go into downward facing dog. So go ahead and curl those toes under and push up. While in downward facing dog, if you need to or want to, you can go ahead and walk the calves and get a little bit of a stretch going on there. Warm and loosen up those muscles. All right, let's go back to tabletop. From here, we're gonna go into cat-cow. Great stretch for the lower back. So go ahead. There. Arch your back for a nice stretch here. Do this for about 5 breaths. And remember, it's your practice. If you need to modify, modify. If you need to come out of a pose and just want to sit in easy pose or child's pose, you can do that too. It's your practice. Let's go back into downward facing dog. Remain here for about 5 breaths. And let's go into plank pose here. Again, those wrists should be aligned with the shoulders so we avoid injury. And go ahead and ease down onto the mat. A little cobra stretch here. And back into child's pose. Just to rest a moment. Catch your breath. Back to tabletop. And let's go into the seated pose. Let's go into easy pose here. If you need additional support in easy pose, you can sit up against the wall. There's options for chair yoga as well. So if you need to sit in a chair. Easy pose is great for meditation. I did an earlier video about easy pose, and it's a great pose if you just want to sit and be still. Close your eyes and meditate a little while. Be present with your breath. Relax the shoulders. Let's do a couple of side stretches here. So go ahead and place that right arm in, go ahead and place the right arm towards the back there. Twist your left arm onto your right knee and look to your right. Nice, easy, gentle stretch here. If you feel any pain, you can come out of it just slightly or come back to center altogether. So we're going to go back to center and we're going to do the opposite side. Back to center. Let's do the right side again. Come back to center. To the left. And back to center. Let's go ahead and do some forward seated stretches. So go ahead and just walk those hands out in front of you. Fold over gently. If you need a block to rest your forehead on, you can grab a block now. Let's just stay here for a few breaths. Then go ahead and slowly come up and switch legs. And reach those arms out in front of you again. Walk them slowly forward. Fold them. If you can place your head on your mat, you can go ahead and do that. If you need a block, grab a block. Or just rest your forehead there on your hands. Alright, for the remainder of this practice, we're going to go into Savasana or corpse pose. So go ahead and lay on your back. Stretch those feet out in front of you. Get comfortable. Relax your shoulders. Relax your eyes. Relax your forehead. Relax your hands. You should feel it jello. Let those legs just fall to the side. Be still, let the thoughts flow. But don't grab onto any of them, just let them flow through. I don't know how many people actually meditate in Savasana, but I find it so relaxing that it's a great pose just to lay and meditate in. You want to do a stretch those arms up, and then bring them back down to the side. Deep, slow breaths. You can place your hands on your belly. And come back up into easy pose. So I usually end my practice in easy pose, sometimes child's pose. Just kind of depends on how I feel and how I flow during that practice. Be sure that you have water nearby. You can light some candles. If you want to do your practice with some music, you can do that as well. I often finish my practice with some uplifting and encouraging readings. So if you have some inspirational readings that you like to do, I would encourage you to keep that close by as well. For you to end your practice. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you got something out of this. Yoga truly is for everyone. Again, it's not about perfecting the pose. That's why we have modifications and poses and blocks and blankets and straps. So if you can't fully get into the pose, you can go as deep as you can. The more you do it, the deeper you go. Thank you again for tuning in. Please subscribe and share my channel. Namaste, everyone.